Express yourself. Express yourself. All right. Hello, 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 everyone. We are now jumping in to this very special lesson. And our central question for today is, how do we write numerical expressions? How do we write numerical expressions? This question is based on a standard that's given to us, writing expressions that record operations with numbers and letters standing for numbers. But our specific target goal for today is that you will be able to write numerical expressions based on simple word phrases. Okay, so what I'd like to do right now is to just break down our essential question and focus on 3 specific words. It says, how do we write numerical expressions? It did not say, how do we sing numerical expressions? It didn't say, how do we solve numerical expressions? It literally says to us, how do we write numerical expressions? Okay, so I hope you have your pencil and pen and paper ready, or I hope you have your stylus and your tablet ready just to take some notes, because we are working together on this whiteboard just to focus on writing numerical expressions. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to write numerical expressions based on simple word phrases. Okay, so let's look at what they give us. Let's look at our particular standard. It says write expressions that record, what's that little word right there? That record operations. Okay? That record operations. All right. What are our 4 special operations that we learned from way back in our elementary years? What are our 4 operations that we deal with now on a regular basis that we have a lot of experience in from our elementary years? Let's think about it. So our very first operation we probably learned way back in kindergarten is addition. We also have subtraction. We also have, you guessed it, multiplication, and finally division. These are our 4 main operations that we are focusing on. And with that being said, we are going to use our operations and interpret them from simple word phrases. And we're going to write numerical operations using these 4, we're going to write numerical expressions using these 4 operations. So let's get into it. So in terms of addition, there's a lot of keywords that go with it. When we see it written down in a phrase, when we see, let's say a phrase is like, add 3 and 4. The phrase says add 3 and 4. Well, there are some keywords in there. Of course, it's telling us to add. And then we also have the words and. 3 and 4. We can call a couple of those words in there keywords. There are keywords even for subtraction. Some that you're very familiar with is take away, minus. Let's think of now multiplication. What are some keywords that we think of when we are multiplying? We think of each. We think of product, because product is the answer of a multiplication problem. And finally, keywords for division, divide by. We also think of shared equally. We think of, what's another word that starts with a Q? We think of quotient. Okay, so what I'd like to do first is share with you A couple of keywords. Let's showcase this particular chart. Okay, so I'm gonna make it a little bit larger. This particular chart gives us different words for when we want to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. We're taking word phrases, simple word phrases, and we're going to interpret them with numbers and operations, those symbols. We want to deal with numbers and symbols, okay? So these words that we are familiar with, we kind of categorize them for you. A lot of addition words focus on plus, sum, total, more than, or increased by. Subtraction words that we must get familiar with. And hopefully you're writing this down. Minus, that's a simple one. Difference, or the difference of. Decreased by. Fewer than. And also less than. Less than is a tricky one. We're going to have a huge conversation on that on our next lesson. But right now, I just want you to become familiarized with some keywords that are utilized in each operation. In multiplication, we have times, product, something by something else, and then even like double and triple. Okay, those are keywords for multiplication. And finally, some of our very familiar keywords for division is divide, quotient, whatever goes into something else, a half of something, or a third of something. Okay? All right, so now that we're familiar with some of our keywords, and now that I've given you some time to write the information down, let's go ahead and tackle some actual word phrases, some simple word phrases, and interpret them, write them into numerical expressions. Now, the word expression, let's even go a little more into that particular word. The word expression, expression, make a little space for that. The word expression has a very particular definition, especially in math. The word expression means to record an operation with numbers and letters. However, it does not contain an equal sign. It has operations, it has numbers, especially numerical expressions, but it does not contain an equal sign. Therefore, we are not trying to evaluate. We're not trying to find the value of the answer. We are just simply writing the expression. Okay? So let's go ahead and write the expression. We are going to write numbers, and we are going to write operations, the operation symbols. What are those four major operations that we know about now? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. All right. So let's practice together some actual word phrases, and let's interpret them into numerical expressions. Numerical expressions have what? Numbers and operations. What do they not have ever? What will we never see in a numerical operation? We will never see this guy. We will never see the equal sign. All right. So we have 3 questions. Let's focus on this. I'm going to make them a little bit larger. All right. And if you are wondering, I am using Microsoft Whiteboard. And with Microsoft Whiteboard, it's literally a whiteboard digitized so that I can write the information down and save it and send it to you. I'm also recording my words so that this can go hand in hand with when you're studying. Okay, so let's practice together. Number 1 says the difference of 10 and 3. The difference of 10 and 3. I want to bring my key word chart right on down with me so that I can kind of utilize this as a strategy chart just to see if I need a little bit of help with what I'm trying to interpret from the sentence, from the phrase. This phrase says the difference of 10 and 3. What I do know is that it has two numbers in it, 10, and it has the number 3, and we need to find the difference between the two. Oh, difference. I see it over there. Difference, most times, will represent subtraction. The difference of 10 and 3 can be written as this numerical expression, 10 minus 3. This, my friends, this is our numerical expression. Okay, this is our numerical expression. Ergo, this is our answer. I'm going to circle it in glitter. All right, that is our answer. Because the rule about numerical expressions is that we are not solving anything. We are simply writing an expression in number form and operation form, symbols, of an actual word phrase. Let's go to the next one. The product of 5 and 8. Product of 5 and 8. I remember from my elementary years, product represents what operation? Product represents what operation? Multiplication. So I'm going to take my numbers, 5 and 8. They give it to me in word form. Numerical operations want us to express it in number form. So I'm going to write the number 5. And it gives me the type of operation that they're doing together, multiplied by 8. That, my friends, deserves a glitter pen because that is our answer. That is our numerical expression. That's what we are creating. We are literally creating expressions. We are not solving. We are simply writing numbers and operations. And finally, let's do one more together. It says the sum of 3 and 11. Oh, sum is my favorite. Sum is addition. The sum of 3 and 11. The sum of 3 and 11. What do we call that? Are we done with this particular question? Did we create a numerical expression with numbers and symbols? The addition symbol? Yes, we did. Let's go ahead and draw our picture, draw our box around it just to represent and let you know, let me, I want to let you know, and you are letting me know that you are done with that problem. That box represents confidence that you are done. Okay? So we've created 3 numerical expressions based on simple word phrases. Did we hit our target? Well, you need to let me know if we hit our target because it says you will be able to write numerical expressions based on simple word phrases. Is that something you could do? Well, I hope so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a few moments. I'm going to send this information to you. I will expand this page. And the beautiful thing about working on Microsoft Whiteboard is that I can send this to you as a PDF form, or I can send this to you as a JPEG. You can print it out and take a picture and send it back to me, or you can literally, if you've downloaded Whiteboard on your Apple computer or on Microsoft, because it excuse me, on your Windows, because it offers it on iOS platform as well as just the PC platform, you can send this right back to me with the information filled in. All right. So the independent practice includes 3 questions, number 1, number 2, and number 3. Once you're done, go ahead and get that right back to me. Thank you so much for joining me with this lesson, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.